everyone, and welcome to this episode, this very, very wonderful episode hosted by Radiant Link Ministries, where we are going to be talking about a topic that's very close to my heart, but I'm hoping that you'll find quite intriguing. And the topic is, do mentors matter? And this is quite a pivotal topic because it is just addressing, young men who are in our society and really looking at actually what does mentorship mean? Does it matter? Where can one find a mentor? And things like that. So I hope that you can join us and you will find this insightful. Now, today is quite unique because we have got 4 guests who are going to be joining us. Now, we've got Ayo, we've got Nick, and we've got Tanaka, and we've got Bosun, who are going to be joining us in this amazing conversation. So welcome, guys, and so nice to have you on this program today.
It's great to be here.
Good. Yeah, nice to have you all. Now, do you want to all just go around and introduce yourselves?
Hello,
I'll just
everyone.
go. Yeah. Ayo, do you want to just tell everyone?
Nice to be here as well.
Yeah, great. Ayo, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Ayo. Yes, please. My name is Ayo, and like you correctly called, my name is Ayo. And I'm 36 years, and I'm also currently in the UK. 2 years down in the UK, and means I'm in the NHS. Yeah, that's it.
Nice to have you on the platform, Ayo. And Nick, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. My name is Nick. I am into tech, more so the intersection between tech and people. So a majority of my work is to come up with creative ways in which tech can be used to solve problems for people. And I'm here because, like I said, I love people. And I think in my journey, mentorship has played a pivotal role, and I would just like to share my experiences. And I'm just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, Nick. Nice to have you here. And Tanaka, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, I'm Tanaka. I'm 26 years old. I work as a project manager for National Grid. So I help assist in kind of the building of large-scale infrastructure and construction work.
Amazing talents here. And Bosun, do you want to introduce everyone? Do you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi everyone, my name is Bosun. I'm an healthcare assistant in a private care home here in the UK. I have a background in marketing. I'm into cottage industry. So yeah, nice to meet everyone.
Amazing. Nice to have you all on the platform today, guys. So we're talking about this very important topic, which is, do mentors matter? Now, as I said earlier on when we were just having our brief conversation, it's a conversation that's really close to my heart, because some of the work that I've done in the past is to really around men's mental health, but it's very much focused on mental health. And there's been such a high prevalence of men in mental health services. I mean, if we were to just have a think, what percentage do you think is that prevalence of men who have mental health issues in the UK? Just a guess, a wild guess. Well, what would you say, or what do you think? Percentage-wise.
60.
Sorry?
60?
60? Yeah, close.
56.
Close. 3/4, the statistics are showing that 3/4 of all this, if we look at mental health disorders, is actually men who are experiencing mental health issues. And then when we go into the suicide rates, we have even higher proportions of men who are actually taking their lives by suicide, which means that there's a lot of challenges that men are facing. But today it's about the young men, so people in your age ranges, and it's about, what do we think are the challenges that people your age face? Now, I know you're all coming from a variety of backgrounds. What would you say could be those challenges, or are those challenges? Anyone?
I can go.
Yeah.
I believe that the first one is like a societal pressure as a young
Mm-hmm.
man to be in a specific place at a certain time. I
Mm-hmm.
think growing up, like you kind of conditioned to think, I need to have achieved by this, I need to
Mm-hmm.
achieve this by this age, I need to achieve that by that age. And it kind of puts the pressure on you that every day in your life you're going kind of in a sake of where you're always striving to achieve something. And it does put a
Mm-hmm.
lot of negative pressure, especially when your life doesn't work out the way you intended it to. I think
Mm-hmm.
that can put like a negative pressure on your mental health because you're working really hard and you can sometimes feel like nothing is happening for you. So I think
Yeah.
societal pressure is one of the ones I think I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think that culture kind of plays a place in this? So within, because all of you are coming from different cultures, how much do you think pressure, cultural pressure, plays a part in the challenges that young men face today?
Well, if I'll go next, I'm Nigerian, and as
Mm-hmm.
part of the Nigerian culture, um, men generally are not supposed to be seen weak, are not supposed to be perceived weak. So that also, in connection to what Tanaka had already said, is what I would say actually accumulating into the pressure, because the mere fact that you cannot be perceived or seen weak makes you carry the weight of yourself and others, and keep
Mm.
pushing, not until such a person breaks down. But yeah, culture plays a
Mm.
role as well.
Absolutely, and it plays such a heavy role in that pressure, in bringing about that pressure, because a lot of people feel that they have
Yeah,
to bottle things up, like, oh, if I say what my problems are, I'll be judged about that. And then how about
yeah,
some people talk about the challenges being, showing vulnerability, like, they say men don't cry or boys don't cry and that kind of a thing. What are your thoughts about this? Nick, have you heard that term before? Or Boston, have you heard anyone say that, oh, boys don't cry, men shouldn't cry, you need to be strong?
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
think growing up, it's always something that you hear from everyone. I
Mm,
remember in the playground, you'd fall while playing, but then because you're a boy, you just hold it in, you
yeah,
don't want to show any tears. So even
yeah.
from a really young age,
Mm,
um, it's almost like we were conditioned to know and to always have this at the back of our heads that men are supposed to be strong, men
mm,
don't show emotion, and then growing up, um, you begin to see that the more you suppress, the harder it becomes to deal with.
mm, mm,
So again,
mm,
it just makes you go back and do some work within yourself, just to
yeah.
make you be able to cope better with things that happen in your life.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's that suppression of, like, and in fact, you just reminded me of something. When we were growing up, maybe in junior school, and they have those stories of the knight in shining armor coming to rescue, and is it ever a female? It's always a man, isn't it? It's
never.
always like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah,
the one who's the strong one is the man. So there's that perception of men always have to be strong, isn't there? And how about things like showing vulnerability? I mean, Basun, what do you think about, do you think vulnerability is a weakness in terms of if a man was to cry or break down, or a young person, yeah, like, a person like yourself, if you were to kind of maybe show tears in front of people and that vulnerability, what do you think? Is that strength or weakness?
I think that's where the culture comes in.
Mm,
Where we come from in Nigeria as a man, you're not expected to cry in public.
yeah.
Even if even if that thing is very hard for you, you have to take it in a
Mm,
public space. Even if you're going to cry, I don't think men don't cry. Men cry, but they cry in their closets,
on their pillows.
And then
mm,
when
yeah.
when you come to the public space, you rub it off. So
Mm,
yeah, they don't want to see men as being vulnerable, being weak,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
true. But then, yeah, I think we just have to take it that we are all human beings. So
Exactly. I like what you said there, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings, isn't it? All of us have got emotions and all of us can be vulnerable, because I always say, from my own perspective, life can throw anything at you, anything at any time. And imagine if life threw, terrible stresses and you just kept it in and kept it in and kept it in, one day you would just come crashing down and you just break
Yeah.
down. That's where people have breakdowns. And obviously that's where we now see a lot of men just thinking, do you know what? I'll just go and jump off the bridge. I'll just go and do something to end my life, because they don't know where they've got no outlet or where to share it at. So that brings us nicely into our conversation for today, which is really around mentorship. So have any of you had a mentor before? And what do you think about mentorship? Have any of you had mentors before?
Yeah, I've had a couple of mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And my mentors came at really opportune moments. By opportune moments, I mean moments where I was in between places, like in a transitional period. Like I give an example with the moment right after I finished my undergraduate, when I was trying to figure out what my next step was. Then I had someone there, and he was able to pour into me and really talk me through the options I had, as well as what life could look like, or basically just offer me some guidance and just expand my ways of thinking based on his experience. And I think mentors are really good in the experience that they share with you, that you're able to draw from their experience and help you make better decisions in the now.
Absolutely. Has anyone else had a mentor or is thinking of having one?
I haven't had a mentor, but I could say that I've had people in my life mentor me. I think I've always valued having people who are maybe more in a senior position, if that's professionally, or in a maybe older age, more they've lived more, they have a lot more wisdom. And so though I haven't had a personal mentor that I could say, oh, he's my mentor, I've had a lot of people mentor me by just kind of leading me and giving me direction in terms of the sort of things I want to head into, whether that's professionally, whether that's in my own personal life. And I've really valued like the opportunity of where someone can say, here's what you can do, this is the direction you can travel in, and some useful advice that way. It's been really helpful.
That's amazing. Great. And anyone else want to share if they've had a mentor before?
Well, I can go next. Well, in my case, I've had mentors, had a couple of them, and at the point I had these mentors, the points where in my life I would say they stem from the spiritual background. I'm allowed to speak about spirituality here, but at that point in my life, I was going through a lot, I would say, and they were positioned. I believe they were positioned for me, and at the time I needed mentorship. They were the ones that put me through certain areas where I needed guidance, especially in my relationship with God. So yeah, and their work with me, I would say, stabilized my life at that moment and caused me to begin to grow. And yeah, that's about it for me.
And Bosun, have you had a mentor or thinking of one or thought of one?
Where we come from, for me, the idea of mentorship is now getting to be introduced officially. Like, we now have people in places setting up mentorship up so they can train the younger ones. Yeah, fine. I've had people ahead of me that have been able to shape up my life quite well. But I think the idea of mentorship, we haven't really seen it the way it should be for us. Yeah, we might have people in terms of academics, but there are lots to life that we need to learn from.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I won't say to some extent in Nigeria, I would say people tends to survive on their own to get to wherever they are, compared
Mm.
to having someone to look after you, to put into you, shaping your life, and then you can always have that big through. But yeah, to some extent, I haven't really had someone in place like that.
You haven't had, okay. And so, thanks very much for all of you sharing. So I'm just thinking to myself, actually, if as you are young men now, so does that mean the mentors that you had, were they also men, or was it women, or was it a combination? I know, Tanaka, you said in your walk you've had a number of people mentoring you, and Nick, you mentioned about sourcing out a specific mentor, and then Ayo from a spiritual perspective. So was it men, or was it a combination, or did someone say, actually, with us African parents, sometimes, me, I've got children who are your age, it's like, no, go and see so and so in the church, elder so and so could mentor you, or whatever, because and I'm just thinking to myself, what do you guys think about that? Do you think, like, actually the parents shouldn't be coercing, as in like matching their child to who needs to mentor them? Or is it about, do you discover that mentor yourself and just think, you know what, I really have watched that person and I would really want them to kind of guide me, because it's all about purpose, isn't it? It's about purpose, about responsibility. How have you guys found the people that have been mentors in your lives? Were you told by your mother, go and meet
Okay.
this person?
No, that was not my case though. But to answer your question, I want to start by saying the parents aspect you brought into it. My thought about that is the parents should be the first. I mean, the parent, the husband, the father, and the mother rather should be the first set of mentors any child should have.
Yes.
And I'm saying that from an African perspective, especially Nigerian in my case, because like Bosun already said, we really never had such a setup back home. And from where I'm sitting right now, I think the parents should be the first point of contact for anyone's mentors ever in life. Then, because of how I also grew up, it was not like as if I was directed to a particular person or a group of persons. But yeah. In my case, I was because I was quite naughty when I was growing up, and they felt that the only way I could change was to take me to a pastor's house. So anytime I go to the man's house, he just looks at me and laughs, and he tells me, go and stay in the prayer room. So I just go into the prayer room, and luckily for me, he had quite a lot of books in his room. So because I don't know what to do, I just carry books and I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm reading. And while you read, my mind began to expand, and I began to ask questions, and I was quite very young then. So he was like my first sort of mentor, because I had questions to ask. I had things to say now to him. Funny enough, my parents thought they were punishing me by taking me there, whereas I was going there to practically learn and change. But like I initially said, I feel that the parents should be the first point of contact for anybody, for mentoring us as children and the rest.
You've brought a really interesting perspective, Ayo, because I'm just thinking now, how about in homes where there's only one parent and there's only a mother and the father is absent? And I'm saying this because here in the United Kingdom, there's quite a high number of young men who are being brought up by their moms alone. And we also know that there's so many examples of men who have been raised by women and actually thrived. We've got presidents and people who've been presidents of countries who were just raised up by single parents. So what do we say about that? In that case, when you say the mother and the father should be the first mentors, how about in a home where there isn't a father and there's young men, which then also leads me to the point of, can we look at it in the perspective of here in the United Kingdom, a lot of parents are working. They are hardly at home. They are doing shifts, back-to-back shifts. Why? Because they are needing to look after people they've left back home. So the parent is absent in the home. So come on, guys, what do we say about that? Let's talk about homes where there isn't a father figure. What happens there? So are we saying what do we do about that? What do we do? How can we help that group of young men in those homes?
I think with that, I definitely agree with what Aya said, the importance of having mother and father in. I think to the people who don't, it goes back to your first question. I think it's within themselves to discover who in their life can be that person. Um, you mentioned the example of people who were raised by maybe a single mom. And that's great, and that is a success story. But I do believe that there's an like a valuable experience in when you have two, because different styles bring different things. The mother can be more of a nurturer and raise them up to be more emotionally attuned, whereas the father might teach him discipline. All of these are like examples of where different people pour different things. So
Yeah.
I think in that case, it might be a sense of the individual person just trying to assess kind of where in his life does he think there's maybe something missing in terms of where somebody can pour something into him, where he can be given guidance in a certain place. And that, I guess, doesn't have to be a certain individual, a male or female. It just has to be somebody you yourself think, okay, yeah, that's the right fit for exactly what I'm trying to grow in or what I need in my life.
So then it brings me the question, guys, how will that child know what's missing? How would they know? Because they're in a home with just the parent, the mother. How will they get up one day and think, oh my goodness, I'm missing this part? How do they discover that bit?
I think it's when a child is growing up, it's a bit difficult to have that emotional intelligence to be able to discover within themselves that this is something that I need more input in, that I need to be poured into. This is an area of my life that I'm missing. And I guess this is where the parent then comes in and really is honest with themselves and is like, this kid needs some other form of investment, especially from a father figure or from a paternal sort of side, and then the parent could then start taking the steps to exposing this child to paternal figures, to potential father figures that who she trusts. It could be pastors, it could be teachers, it could be, even other parents, just so that they can get this other side of it. At least that's when the child is just growing up and trying to mature. Then once he gets to that level where he's now able to make decisions a bit more independently, then I guess it could then transition to what Tanaka was saying, where now, because the child is able to make decisions more independently, then I can look outwards to people who I admire, people whose qualities I would want to attain, and then start drawing from them.
Absolutely. That's quite insightful there. Bason, what do you think we should do? And how about with the working parents, the parent who's absent, there but not there? Mom and dad are working night and day, and the young man is leading themselves.
Yeah, from my own perspective, I would say parenting is beyond your mother and your father. The way we look at it, where we come from, there's an adage that says, like, I won't say it the way they normally say it, but I'll tell you that it's not just the parent that normally groom the children. It takes the society to shape them. Your pastor can be your father, sort of father-like in your life. So it doesn't have to be that your father is there or not. Yeah, I understand that we have working parent here, and but still, you still have someone that you can identify with within the family,
Yeah.
within your church. Yeah, I know the for we younger ones, it can actually be a very difficult thing for us to identify, and then maybe parents can say, oh, you can go and learn from this person. But I think it has to do with your own purpose. when you know what
Yes.
you really want. It's just like
Yes.
my brother that said he's into VR, and if he needs someone to help him in that line, he's going to look for someone in his field of tech. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have to, some you don't give nothing on something. You have to look for purpose. You have to look for who
Yeah.
to groom you. Yeah. So parenting mentorship is beyond.
Mm.
I don't think it's about your father or your mother. Yeah, I understand from this society that we are in. There's a lot of
Mm.
pressure. You have to work, you have to pay bills as a parent. And
Mm.
yeah, so as a
Mm.
child, even mentorship doesn't have to be an elderly person. It can even be someone as young, not so old. I mean, you can even find someone who is maybe year three ahead of you in the institution
Mm.
that can actually pour into your life. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to find your purpose. Sometimes
Yeah.
situation will lead you to that.
Yeah. What do you then think about someone who engages? Because there's another thing within the culture. I'm bringing the cultural element into this now. So when we're talking about education, I know that some African parents, I'll use some African parents or parents, let's not make it all about Africa, but some parents, let me just say, will coerce their children into taking up various professions. And then
Yes.
you find that there are some young men who I have certainly spoken to who are doing a profession completely nothing to do with their purpose, their passion, zero. And then we have the conversation about how did we even get here? Like, how did this start? Well, my mom and dad said, this is the line I have to take. This is the channel I have to take. Now, I'm just thinking if a mentor now is coming in and having that conversation with that person, where would they even, how can a mentor help that young person? How do you feel? If you were in that in that person's shoes, how would you navigate it? How would you navigate that mentorship relationship? Would you go with that because you're thinking, well, my parents have told me this is the way? Or would you just say, look, no, actually, I want to do something which is more creative arts. I don't want to do something which is more academic. So where do they go? What do we do here? How does a mentor fit into this equation? Or how can they? Or can they?
I think, yes, definitely a mentor can fit into the equation. And I think a mentor's role isn't to make you like them or like someone else.
Okay, good.
His role is to help you be the best you.
Yes.
So, um, if you find yourself in a position where you're doing something that you feel coerced to do and you're not really enjoying it because it's not your passion, then a mentor isn't the person to tell you that this is how you should keep on doing what you're not enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I think a mentor should be the one to bring out to you, bring out from you,
Mm-hmm.
like this is my passion, this is your passion. And I think these are some of the steps that you can go through to really discover it and excel even within the circumstances that are surrounding you.
So then in that case, do we think beyond just looking at academics and things along those lines, do you think a mentor could also be a guide on just men matters, things that are to do with, personal things you might be facing or challenges? Do you think those are the things that you could also bring into a mentorship relationship or someone who mentors you?
Well, I don't know if I should take a step back to from the initial question you asked.
Mm,
When you spoke about parents, choosing a particular career for their children to, go into. So something happened last week. Briefly, I'm just going to share this, not to take much of your time. And we're talking, a friend of mine, we're just talking briefly, and we spoke about how back home, I mean Africa and Nigeria, we're not really groomed to grow in confidence. And coming over to the UK, I'm noticing some things, and I'm like, the way I was brought up was not the way I'm seeing children being brought up here. But anyways, back to the question. In the course of discussing, I now said something about how when I was in secondary school, then I was actually forced to go into the social sciences, and it wasn't really something I wanted to do then. But in the course of having that conversation, he narrated something that hit me, and he spoke about a friend of his as well, whose dad, I can't go into the details, but whose dad happened to be in a high position in the oil and gas industry, and told the son that he was also going to study a particular course that would lead him into the oil and gas industry. But the twist in the case, in this guy's case, was that the father told him the reason why he wanted him to do that. The father also explained to him, the father saw the potential in the son to be able to achieve and grow in that particular sector. And guess what? The son is currently in that sector doing exceedingly well. And if he has any issues, if he has any problem with his boss or colleagues at work, his father is his point of call. He calls him, he gets advices, and he's able to actually grow confidently because the man had groomed him from his young age. So I'm saying that to say that in some cases, yes, if a parent is going to do such a thing, they should be able to, analyze, explain, relate, and bring out from that child what the child does not see in himself. So maybe with that, there's a potential for that mentorship that comes from the parent to the child, if that really makes sense. But that's how best I can actually come into that question.
Okay. Thank you so much for your insights. Now, let's bring it to the sensitivity. Can in this mentoring relationships, or on the platform where someone has a mentor, where does confidentiality and trust, does that play a part in the relationship or in this agreement? How do you navigate that, especially if it's something that is someone has suggested, or not somebody you sourced and come to be mentored by? Where does confidentiality and sensitivity, because some young men similar to yourselves who I've come across are really skeptical about, no, if I go to that person who's also in the same church as my parents, my goodness, if I say something, it might get back home, or things like that. Have any of you experienced anything like that, or heard any people in your age range kind of navigate through some issues similar to that? And how would they resolve them if they were there?
I believe the most important thing is trust.
Yeah.
I think who you're confiding in, who you're choosing to be your mentor, there's a responsibility that there's a level of trust established. Because if that trust isn't there for you to be able to speak freely, you're not really going to benefit from it in the same way. And so I think it's very important that though the mentor as well as the mentee establish, okay, this is what's okay, this is what's not okay, and build a certain level of trust and rapport with each other before they start to progress down like the journey of mentorship.
Okay, that's good. So that's a conversation to have at the very beginning of the relationship, just with regards to that sensitivity. Yeah. Nick, do you want to come in?
Yeah, just to add on that, when you're picking a mentor, I think you should be the one to pick a mentor. People can suggest, but you're only going to benefit from a person, or you're only going to take advice from a person who you admire, who has a certain quality that you want to have. So it's really important that it starts from there. And just like Tanaka said, there has to be a conversation at the beginning, and this conversation could include, what am I trying to gain from this mentorship?
Yeah.
I'd give an example with myself. I've had different mentors in different spaces in my life. So I have a careers mentor, and with this mentor I will only discuss things to do with career, or with tech, with what I'm working on, what the workplace is like, what I'm thinking in terms of career progression, because that is an area that I really admire in him, and I feel like he could pour into me. He has a wisdom for that. But then when I can't talk about things like relationships to him, because that's not what the relationship is for.
Right.
but then I have a different mentor, and this one is more general. So
Mm-hmm.
then with him, I could go and speak about maybe things that are on my head, things that I'm battling, maybe some of the high points I've had, and we can have a discussion about this, because that's the kind of relationship that we have. So I think it's more of separation of concerns, where there's some certain aspects of myself that I can present to a particular mentor that I'm comfortable with, and there's some certain aspects that I hide because that is not what the relationship is about.
It's about, yeah. And great. That so it's a person can have various number of mentors depending on what it is that relationship is about. So it could be about purpose, about giftings, or about other deeper things that you want to kind of explore with that mentor. Okay, amazing. So I just wanted to now just think, I want, before we talk into how someone can actually find a mentor or how to go about it, is as we're coming to an end, is, those people who are listening right now, what would you say to them if we were to answer this question, do mentors matter? What is it that how would we answer that? Let's just go around. Busun, what do you say? Do mentors matter?
Yeah, mentors matter a lot because just like I said earlier on, I said you have to find a purpose. In finding your purpose, then you know the reason why you're going to someone who wants to be your mentor. Because for me, when you're talking about confidentiality, it has to be like a father to a child, a mother to a child relationship. If it's a career path, it's strictly career path. If it's something that has to do with maybe medical field, health-wise, you know who to go to. So when you find your purpose, you'll be able to define what you really, really want. Yeah, mentors matters a lot. The idea of mentorship, the way I experienced it when I was doing my master's degree, we have mentorship programs. It's like a course. You have to go through it. Yeah. Back home in Nigeria, it's just we know we used to have guiding and counseling, but I don't think most people make use of guiding and counseling because that's like the basic mentorship that we have in our own institution back in Nigeria. But here is a course you have to go through, you have to pass through, and then they give you, it's like learning from the industry. They give you mentors, you have to learn, and then so it's about finding your purpose generally. Mentors matters in all strata of life for everyone.
Amazing. So mentors. And how about yourself, Tanaka?
Yes, I think mentors matter. I think, like Wilson said, it's about finding your purpose and finding someone who can help guide you into that. So whether that's a professional, spiritual, every aspect of life, I think a mentor can help you in that sense.
Excellent. Nick, any final words? Do you think mentors matter?
Yeah, they definitely do. It's very practical to have a mentor. It's kind of like having an experienced voice walking with you as you go through life, and they're really great for affirming when you're doing stuff right, when you're going through life well, correcting if maybe you're having a few stumbles or you're thinking about things the wrong way, and challenging you to do better where they can see your potential when you can't. So I think it's a very practical thing, and to do, and I would really, really recommend anyone who's listening to just get a mentor.
Amazing. Ayo, what are your thoughts, your final thoughts?
Yes, mentors matters. I would say mentors matters, but I also say that self-awareness of the individual also matters in the sense where I know my values, I know the qualities I have, I know the qualities I lack, I know the values I lack. I see these values and qualities in a supposed mentor or someone I would call a potential mentor. Then I see that the values align, And I also see that if I attach myself with this person, I have a lot to learn. I can upgrade my skills. I can add more to my qualities. I can add more to my values. And yes, I would say mentors matters for this particular reason.
Amazing. You know what, guys? It's been such an honor to have you on the platform today and to have this really insightful conversation. I
Thank
feel
you
like
very much.
I think we need to go into another session where now we bring scenarios. I'd love to bring scenarios of young men who are having challenges and also just in navigating life, because right now we know the crime rates in the United Kingdom have absolutely exploded. And what can we do? Well, how can we just have more mentors or more people seeking mentorship to actually really find their purpose? Because I think those people who end up doing, knife crimes, gun crimes, and all sorts of things that are happening right now in the United Kingdom, if they were to discover their purpose, I'm sure they would realign their efforts into something a little bit more meaningful for them. Thank you for the conversation, and we're going to bring it to a close, and it's been just amazing speaking to all of you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us on this program today, and we will see you again next time. Thank you.